Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to know exactly how many units of a product to order on Amazon or reorder if you're trying to figure out how to keep something in stock going forward. It's relatively simple. A lot of people kind of get caught up on this and don't really know what to think or how many to order. Is it better to overorder or underorder? Is it that bad if I go out of stock? I mean, there's just so many questions that are surrounding this area. But anyway, that sounds like something you're interested in watching. Be sure to stick around to the end. Be sure to like and subscribe down below. It helps me out so much as a growing channel, and I do appreciate every single one of you that does so. All right, thank you so much. Let's get into it. All right, so here we are. I searched spaghetti maker. I don't know why. I don't even know if that's a thing. I guess it's just a pasta maker. And well, I got the blue lights on today. I've been doing a lot of work on my computer, and they do help a lot. Sometimes I'll do so much work on my computer. I sit pretty close to it. It's pretty bright. I have a bright light on for like filming and stuff. I will literally get like a bloodshot streak in my eye. Anyway, the way that you know how to order, let's start with order and then we'll move on to reorder. The way you know how many units of something to order on Amazon is really simple. I've had this kind of rule of thumb for a while now. I'll take the average of my top 3 competitors per month. So this is actually like a really weird example because there's some really big products in here. Let me go to my, I know I've been using this example a lot. If you're new to the channel, you probably won't be annoyed, but I don't know. It's just a good example because it just makes sense. Like the perfect size market. I promise we'll stop using this example after this week. Anyway, X-ray. Pull this up. Look at the top 3 competitors. So we have this one, fly tying stuff, 300 per month. Fly tying materials, 189 per month. And then it looks like, let's see, another top competitor. And I mean top competitor in terms of like how many sales they're doing and how relevant the products are. Not literally just like the top 3, because that might not necessarily be exactly your main competitors. You could have main competitors throughout a page that are actually different than what the product you're trying to sell is. Like in any given situation where a market is, you'll have irrelevant results. So basically 170, 312, and 189. So if we added all those together, 170, 312, 189, we get 671. Then divide that by 3. So that's your average. So 220. It's 223, but we'll call it 220. That's how many units that I would order for my first month. Well, I say my first month. What does that even mean? That's how many units that I would order for part of the equation. So that's my 30-day estimated sales volume. I launch quite aggressively. Like, actually, depending on who you are, you might consider my launch strategy conservative. What I mean when I say launch is like when I get into a market, usually I'm making my full amount of sales within 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So my first month's pretty close to what the normal 1 month average would be. I have like a week period where I'm getting in there, and pretty much by week 2, I'm on page 1. So 220 will last 30 days theoretically. Let's just say that it's nice and cut and dry, 30 days, 220 units. Now, what you want to add onto that is you want to add your lead time plus your shipping time worth of units. So if you have again, let's make it nice and clean. Let's just say a 10-day lead time and from the time you place an order, the time it's packaged and ready to be picked up by your freight forwarder, and then it's nice and clean, 30 days to get delivered, which right now it's probably closer to 55 with how slow shipping is. But just for this example, easy math, 30 plus 10, we have 40. So in addition to our 220 units for 30 days, we want to order 40 more days worth of units on top of that, because we'll be able to analyze after 30 days whether or not we should reorder another round of inventory. And if we do decide at day 30 that this is something we want to pursue again and not just run out of stock of, if you want to just go out of stock, it's easy, just don't reorder and then you don't have to solve anything. But generally, you don't want to have to decide right away, because you might go after 30 days and go, you know what? We're actually not seeing the sales that I thought we would, or the profit margin is really not there, and I don't think it ever could be there. We underestimated or overestimated how much we could charge for this, and we're not going to order. Anyway, after 30 days, the reason I like to have that 30-day buffer is I get to sell for 30 days completely at peace with the fact that I'm not going to run out of inventory. And I also don't have to decide super quickly whether or not I need to sell it. So technically in the beginning, you want 70 days worth of inventory. So you would take that 220 that we had discussed and divide that by 30 days. That's 7.3 per day. So then multiply that by 70 and you have 513 units. That's how many I would order for my first round of inventory. Okay. My first order for a market like this would be 513 units. That's going to get me 30 days of inventory to decide whether I want to order again. And then if I do order again, it'll come in time with my lead time and my shipping time being accounted for. Now, for me, if you're like super specific about how you like to do this, I do this thing where I add 7. So do 7.7, well, not 7.3 times 7. That's 51 more units plus that 500. So you would be adding 50 units in this case, additional, just as a buffer, because sometimes it gets stuck at customs, or by the time the shipping is ready to be picked up, it takes the freight forwarder 2 additional days to pick it up, and then 2 additional days longer to drop it off. I don't like to cut it right off where like I might be going out of stock if it doesn't make it today. Give it an extra week. So this is like really considering all factors and being super realistic about the timeframes with everything. But you need to do this for your product. I'm just showing you the areas to look at. Now, reordering is easy, right? When you reorder, all you need to factor in is change how much time do I want in between reorders, okay? So if you want that same system, well then you know every 30 days essentially I have to reorder because I have 30 days to decide whether I should reorder again, and then I have enough inventory in stock to cover the time to get more units in is going to take. Is that making sense? Hopefully I'm explaining this in a way that makes sense. If I want 60 days of inventory before I even have to place an order again, well then I would just do 60 plus 40. So now it's 100 days of inventory in stock. Does that make sense? So that's how you would determine how much to order, and then again, how much to reorder based on this. Now keep in mind, some of you are surely going, I have a good budget. I'm just going to order like 6,000 and I don't got to worry about it. Well, that's not how it works, because you're going to have limits on how many you can send into Amazon if you have a new Seller Central account. It's 1,000 units. And then also, you don't just want to have 8 months worth of inventory in stock. That's too much. You're actually going to hurt your inventory performance index score on Amazon. It's this calculation that they make about how efficient you are about sending things in and then selling through them. You want to have a balance there. You're sending stuff in, it's selling through, then you're sending more stuff. Not just you sent a ton of stuff in and you're slowly selling through it. They would rather see that you're doing a good job, because they don't just want to store tons of unnecessary. We like to think of it as just a click of a button on our side. If you've ever sent a shipment to yourself, you'll know it gets pretty real pretty quick, right? Like I sent myself just 300 units of something one time, and I was like, oh my God. It was like it filled up a whole wall of big brown boxes. And I was like, I could only imagine what sending 3,000 units for one ASIN out of my 10 ASINs to some warehouse. Like that's a ton of space. No wonder they want me to keep this at bay. So figuring that out is important. Go take this information and use your own numbers now. Use your own lead time, your own shipping time. Ask your freight forwarder how long shipping's taking right now. If you haven't shipped something recently, it'll be a little different whether you're working with Matson or a different company. And then do all the math. It's just simple math. It's really easy. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Be sure to like and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos like this. If not, that's fine too. See you in the next one. Thanks so much. Later.